Hi everyone, super exciting day today because the North Node, or actually both nodes, are switching today and shifting from the energy of Cancer Capricorn, North Node in Cancer, South Node in Capricorn, into North Node Gemini, South Node Sagittarius. Big day today because the nodes stay in a particular axis or signs for each one of them for a year and a half. So this is going to be the energy we're going to be dealing with in terms of collective human purpose, because the nodes talk to you about purpose for the rest of the year, 2020, for all of 2021, and it will shift in January of 2022. So big deal today on the 5th of May, Revenge of the 5th, Taco Tuesday, etc. Okay, so today, the day that the North Node switches into the sign of Gemini. If you're not familiar with the nodal axis and the nodes in astrology, I'll give you a brief. The nodes themselves, they always come in pairs. It's a really interesting thing in your chart because you will see that there will be a North Node and there will be a South Node. The nodes in astrology are also referred to as the nodes of karma or the dragon's head. They have to do with the South Node being the experiences you have had in past lives, and therefore your area of expertise, area of things that you're already familiar with, things that you're really good at and that you already know. And then the North Node is the new energy that you are supposed to, or that you have come to really integrate, incorporate, step into. So here we have a little bit of the South Node. We have a little bit in terms of, sort of karma. And by karma, I just mean lessons maybe that you didn't learn before and that you need to revisit again when we're talking about the nodes in your chart. And your North Node would be the energy that you're supposed to quantum leap of faith, step into, and it's new energy. The nodes are always 180 degrees apart in a chart of 360 degrees. Therefore, they're always opposite signs. So before, as of yesterday and a year and a half before, the nodes were traveling into Cancer for North Node and Capricorn South Node. This is why we had been dealing with things like revisiting terms of what does it mean to deal with authority, for example, South Node Capricorn, career, jobs. And as far as the North Node, the real focus, because the real focus is always the North Node, okay? The South Node comes to complement. The real focus had been healing the inner child, any childhood wounds, everything that has to do with Cancer, the mother nature, all of these things, okay? We have now hopefully done that work, and we're stepping into the energy of Gemini, North Node focus Gemini, okay? This is the sign of the messenger. Gemini is the sign of the communicator. So what are we talking about here? Once we have really honed in on who we are, healed the parts that we needed to heal, release limiting beliefs, release stagnant energy, and really come into a wholeness, we are now ready to self-express truly who we are. What is my personal brand? Who am I? Let me just really connect with those people that are my tribe. Gemini is the sign of connecting, communicating, expressing, networking, social networks. It is the sign of making connections as much as you can. It is also the sign of brothers and sisters. And in this, there's a particular really beautiful message for humanity. It's almost as if the North Node's purpose, collective purpose, are asking us to really observe, look at, and experience and consciously behave in a way as if we were all brothers and sisters, which in reality we are, because the truth of the matter is that as energy, we are all connected. And if we are very conscious of the fact that we're all connected and we don't lose sight of this, then we can behave in a way that will allow us to really understand that whatever I do has an effect on you, and whatever you do has an effect on me. And therefore, I'm always going to want to have the best effect on you because I know that that's going to have a repercussion or an effect on me, and vice versa. And because I love you and I know we're connected, right? So whatever I do is going to affect you. I'm going to try to do my best, affect you in a positive way. And whatever you do is going to affect me in a way. So you are going to try to do your best for me as well. Once we understand this, you know, we're all brethren, this is brothers and sisters of the world, humanity, then we can move into the phase of how do we keep all of the learnings and all of the understandings and all the shifts and changes that we have had taken place in quarantine during this whole situation with the virus, especially with regards to Mother Earth. Uranus is still in Taurus, in the sign of planet Earth, Uranus being the planet of big shifts, and therefore how can we come together, connect, to be able to then really treat Mother Earth the way that Mother Earth is meant to be treated. Take care of Mother Earth the way that Mother Earth is, supposed to be taken care of, as well as anything that has to do with us, okay? Because anything we do for any other, entity, energy, or person is going to have repercussions on us as well, right? So there's this really interesting energy of lightness and levity, because Gemini is an air sign, and it's also a mutable sign. So it's a sign with a lot of lightness, a lot of energy that doesn't want anything heavy. So the connections that you're going to make right now, or the activations that you're going to have in terms of socializing and networking, are not going to be heavy, dramatic. Maybe they're not even long term, but there may be some things, some connections that you need to make in order to really learn some things, where you need to transfer information back and forth. And that is going to be probably something that we're going to start to see, especially because so many people are working remotely. There are so many more people on apps like Zoom. Facebook is already come out with, how to do video conferencing. I think it's already activated. And so you are seeing that the world is taking technology to the next level. Technology is one of the things that Gemini rules. So you probably may have heard that, there's a lot of Mercury going retrograde, because it happens 3 times a year. So a lot of people, even those who are not familiar with astrology, they know that the planet Mercury goes in a retrograde phase, meaning that it goes, rather than move forward in its orbit, it moves back in its orbit. And that's when all the things that Mercury rules, Mercury being the planet that rules Gemini and Virgo, and therefore, having so many similarities, all these things kind of go haywire. So mechanical things, transportation, computers, cell phones, technology, anything digitized, all of these things, communications, miscommunications happen, all that stuff. All of these things come into play when Mercury goes retrograde. Well, now with the North Node in Gemini, we're talking about very similar things in terms of what this collective purpose is. Technology being one of those things, because Gemini rules technology. So you have this North Node, this collective purpose, kind of saying to us, okay, connect with people, communicate, express whatever message you have in your heart and your soul that you need to express. Really, take things a little bit lighter. Use technology to whatever purpose you have come to accomplish here on this planet, whatever that may be for you, which you can look at in your chart according to your North Node and many other things in your chart, okay? And you can always do an astro coaching session with me to check what that would be. Hold hands like brothers and sisters and actually do connect and work on these things together, but not in a way where it feels heavy, but in a way where it's light, where it's fun, because Gemini is an energy of a lot of light and fun. Gemini is also the jester of the zodiac. It's the trickster of the zodiac too, so we gotta watch out a little bit to make sure that we're polarizing, that we're stepping into the polarity of this sign. Every sign has its more productive pole and its less productive pole. And some of the less productive stuff in Gemini would be probably a little trickery, maybe some like duality and all that stuff. But we're really gonna say that we're gonna step into the positive and productive part of this energy, because this is North Node, productive pole, purposeful pole, okay? And we're going to connect. We're going to, be lighthearted. We're going to be almost sort of like teenagers, getting to know other people and connecting for something that will be really joyous for us all together as a humanity, okay? And if we're talking business, we're talking about really honing in, or a good time to shift, because Mercury is a mutable sign. It's a sign, Gemini is a mutable sign, and it's a sign that pushes you for quick change. Okay, not huge change, but quick shifts and change and pivots. And so it's going to ask you maybe to pivot your brand, to upgrade your technology in your business, to maybe begin to communicate a little more with your ideal clients. It's really going to push brand expression, messaging, and communication to the forefront if you are in business or when we're talking work. Especially if, and you have to check in your own chart, where this energy is falling. So this North Node energy, where in my chart is the sign of Gemini? If it's in the 10th house, then it's going to activate the professional part, the career, the public persona. If this energy is going to fall in the 7th house, it's going to activate the energy of partnership, whether it's my romantic partner or my business partner, so relationships and all that. If it falls in the 4th house, it will activate, or it will be represented or more communicative in all of this in the home and with the family. If you haven't seen my houses video, the video is on this channel, and I recommend that you watch that, as well as the fundamentals of astrology video, because it'll give you a strong base for anything that I'm talking about when it comes to all of these transits and the energy that you can use to check your own chart. And of course, have your chart done, and make sure that you have your chart when you're seeing these videos. You can do it on an app, you can do it on a website like Astrolab or astros.com, and you'll be able to see when I say, okay, well, where does this fall? And you'll be able to see which house you have with Gemini, and you'll be able to see there where this energy will fall, and that will be activated. As well as, if you are a sun sign in Gemini or rising sign in Gemini, this will be activated, a big purposeful activation for you, okay? And also, if you have any other planet, especially personal planets, Mercury, Venus, Mars, in addition to what I already mentioned, as well as the moon, if you have anything in the sign of Gemini, this will be the aspect of yourself, of your life, that will be activated by this North Node. So therefore, for example, if you have Sun in Gemini, this is a huge activation moment for you in terms of mixing purpose, collective human purpose, with your essence of who you are, being able to really express, communicate, be that a connector Gemini that Geminis are. Okay, so you need to really just step into this energy of who you are, and it's going to be kind of like a push of extra energy for you in the next year and a half. If you are a moon in Gemini, for example, then this will be reflected in your more needs, your emotional side, and it will activate this, and maybe you need to look at fulfilling those needs, look at your own emotional expression and all of this, okay? And so on and so forth, ascendant, Venus, Mars, etc. Mercury, if you're Mercury in Gemini, oh my gosh, you're going to be like the chatterbox of the year. You're going to be the connector, the communicator, the life of the party, the social networking guru. This will be an interest, especially if you're a Sun in Sun in Gemini with a Mercury in Gemini, which is a very common combination because Mercury is never one or so signs away from whatever your sun sign is, because it's really close to the sun in orbit. You will feel this as like, one caveat, Mercury energy is also very dispersing. So you have to really use your power to hone in your own energy and to make sure that you are not going to be trying to do two different things at the same time. This is very Gemini, okay? This is why Gemini is the twins of the zodiac. This is the symbol. Gemini wants to, can't decide, should I do this or should I do that? Should I do here? Should I do there? Should, go left, go right. That is the one expression of, maybe not the one, or the indecisive stuff too. That polarity of being pulled in two different directions, that is a negative expression of Gemini. So watch out for that type of deal. You don't need to step into that. Remember that at the core of ourselves, we are one. And duality is just an idea that we have here that we deal with for, just to experience something different in our own third dimensional reality, or whatever reality you may be in. But this matter, this material world, it deals in polarity. So it might be that you're feeling that this will be something that the Gemini North Node energy will bring out. Don't feel like you have to always do things in twos, but if you are comfortable, people who have Gemini in their chart will feel very familiar and very comfortable with holding on to two opposites, opposite ideas, two projects at the same time, two things that you have to accomplish and all this stuff. It's okay to do that. It's okay to engage in that energy of polarity as long as you're feeling productive within that, because this is North Node energy. It's purposeful energy. It wants you to do something with it. It wants you to just step into it and incorporate it. Okay? If you are Sagittarius, or you have some prominent personal planets, or something, or an ascendant in Sagittarius, you're going to feel a little bit of a different energy. What it gets activated is going to be the South Node energy for you. And this means that you're going to be revisiting maybe some karmic relationships. And by karmic, I don't mean anything bad. I just mean maybe people that have been in your life before in other lives, or people that you have, pending things that you need to resolve, as well as any issue that may come up that has come up before that you haven't actually dealt with. You may be revisiting some of those things. Depending on where this Sagittarian energy falls in your chart, you'll get to see in which area of your life, depending in which house, in which area of your life this will be triggered. Okay? The Sagittarian energy is interesting. Remember the poles, right? The North nodes come in poles, and therefore you are dealing with both energies. Ideally, you're polarizing with the Gemini energy, but at the same time, you're going to feel some of this Sagittarian South Node energy. And what does that look like? So the Sagittarian energy is also dealing with information the same way as Gemini, but it deals more with knowledge, experience, wisdom. So it has, because Sagittarius is a sign that is further down in the zodiac than Gemini. Gemini is the third sign, Sagittarius is the ninth sign. You're dealing with a little bit information that is a little more processed. Therefore, the impetus, Sagittarian energy, wants to take information, learn it, digest it, incorporate it, experience it, and then communicate it in a way where they're either teaching, or they're forming an opinion, or they may even be telling you like how to do things and ways that you can improve or whatever. Okay, that's not the polarity we're in. We want to step into the polarity of pure information that is short, quick, what it wants to do is just give you brief information, and it wants to connect more than form a deep, opinionated, knowledge-based connection. Okay, so let's watch out for that difference in polarity, because it's very, very important what pole you choose. Sagittarius may be feeling the activation of that, and it may be helping them revisit old, since Sagittarius also rules belief and ethics and philosophy and moral and dogma. It may be helping you revisit all outdated beliefs that you no longer need, which is always a useful, helpful thing, especially given the recent move of the planet Pluto into Capricorn in its retrograde. I mean, it's been in Capricorn, but it now is in its retrograde phase. Okay, this is also revisiting stuff in the subconscious that we need to look at, and then seeing what we need to get rid of, or seeing what we need to transmute, transform. So like I said, this energy is going to be here until more or less January of 2022. For other signs that are air signs as well, like Aquarius and Libra, this is also going to be felt like a more comfortable and positive and productive activation. Maybe for some of the signs that are square to Gemini, such as Pisces and Virgo, this might feel like a little bit of an uncomfortable push for communication and for all these other things that are Gemini. More so for Pisces than for Virgo. Virgo is a planet that is also ruled by Mercury. So, in astrology, every planet rules a sign. It just so happens that Mercury rules two signs, and it rules Gemini and it rules Virgo. So because this Gemini energy has a Mercury component attached to it, so to speak, on Virgo, it's also not going to feel as uncomfortable. However, maybe someone that's Sun in Virgo or has heavy Virgo energy is going to feel that whole energy of the disbursement and the lack of focus and the pull to dualities. And Virgo is an earth sign, so they're going to want much more grounding and much more focus and direction. So that may be something that you may have to deal with if you're a Virgo, or if you have some planets that, or if your chart is heavy on Virgo. Again, check for every where this energy, where the North Node energy in Gemini and the South Node energy in Sagittarius is going to fall in your chart, so you can see what this nodal axis is actually really activating. And check anything in your chart that may be Gemini or that may be Sagittarius, as well as the other signs that I mentioned, where those are going to be the most affected. People who are Capricorn are going to be feeling much better. Okay, they have had so many planets in the sign of Capricorn. Saturn was in Capricorn and has just stepped into Aquarius. It's now about to go retrograde next week, so it's going to be stepping back into Capricorn, but not yet. Jupiter's been in Capricorn. That's a good thing, because that's like abundance and stuff. Mars was in there. The Sun was in there earlier part of the year, but Pluto just is in Capricorn, just went retrograde. So Capricornians are feeling heavy energy right now, intense energy right now. It super helps that the South Node, okay, the revisit your karma and all the stuff, and revisit pending things and sort of the heavier pull, has now stepped out of the Capricornian sign and the Capricornian energy, and has released a little bit of a hold and energy that has been weighing heavy on my sun sign in Capricorn people. You're going to be feeling a little bit lighter energy, and that's always super helpful. My Cancerians who are Sun in Cancer, you may be feeling like you have had a year in which you had to do a lot of work, self-purpose. It's been an energizing year actually for you all, because anytime the Sun coincides or conjuncts your node, it's actually helpful. You feel really like, even if you're doing heavy stuff at work, you are feeling like you are on purpose, your life has meaning, and it's a more comfortable energy, and it's an energy that is really feeling like it is giving you vitality and it's pushing you forth. Now we're stepping into the Gemini energy, so our Gemini people are going to feel that way. So if you're a Gemini, this is a great time for you. I'm super hoping that you take advantage of this energy and that you run with it. Okay? More videos coming soon. You can always email me at maril@marilsalisepaz.com to do your chart, to see where all of this energy falls and where it can be activating and productive, and where it's maybe less productive and maybe less comfortable. This is energy that's going to stay with us for a year and a half, so it's really interesting to hone in on what it is going to be pushing forth for us and what it's going to be activating for us. Okay, North Node is purpose. It's super really good stuff. Even if it feels uncomfortable, it's going to help you get to the next level of yourself. So you can also see me on Instagram at marilsalisepaz and on Facebook at marilsalisepaz. But email me if you want to do an astro coaching session, and I will continue to do these videos in Spanish as well as English. If you speak Spanish, there's almost 100 videos in my Spanish channel, but I just launched this English channel, and I hope that you're enjoying all this information. Sign up, turn on notifications, so subscribe and turn on notifications so that you can get the videos as soon as they come out. Okay, many blessings to everybody, and take advantage of this amazing North Node in Gemini energy.